to this House. And Mr. Speaker, I know that the governor is not about to stop breaking the law. She's not conscious that the law exists. She doesn't care. She thinks she is in the Banana Republic. Mr. Speaker, this is the Republic of Kenya, and this Honorable House is like a sitting of a court of law. And I beg this Honorable House, Mr. Speaker, to reward the governor with a punishment so that the governors who come after her, Mr. Speaker, can learn that there are laws that exist and can behave within the law, Mr. Speaker. Can, Mr. Speaker, treat other leaders with respect. She broke Article 75 of the Constitution, the conduct of state officers. This is Chapter 6. A state officer shall behave, whether in public or official life, in private life, or in association with other persons, in a manner that avoids any conflict between personal interest or public or official duties, compromising any public official interest in favor of personal interest, demeaning the officer once holds. And Mr. Speaker, if you go anywhere in this country and say you are from Meru County, people will start laughing. The office of the governor has been demeaned, Mr. Speaker. People of this county cannot go outside this county and say, Mr. Speaker, we've come from the county of Governor Nimama. People are wondering whether we are tolerant to the kind of lawlessness that is going on in this county. And Mr. Speaker, the Constitution is very specific about the punishment for these behaviors. Part 2. A person who contravenes Class 1 of Article 76, 77, or 78(2) shall be subject to the applicable disciplinary procedure for the relevant office and may, in accordance with the disciplinary procedure referred to in paragraph A, be dismissed or otherwise removed from office. A person who has been dismissed or otherwise removed from office for a contravention of the provisions specified in Clause 2 is disqualified from holding any other state office. This is why the governors who have gone through, whose impeachments have gone through, like Waititu, Sonko, have not been able to come back to public office. Therefore, I want to urge this Honorable House. Since the governor has not demonstrated integrity in leadership, has broken Chapter 6 of the Constitution, with this very act, Mr. Speaker, ought to be held culpable and responsible of our acts. Mr. Speaker, as I close the argument on that section, Mr. Speaker, the Public Officer Ethics Act of 2003 provides it's the Leadership and Integrity Act, sorry, Mr. Speaker, of 2012 that provides that this very act breaks the Leadership and Integrity Act 34 by a state officer shall not bully any person, not just the minority leader. You cannot bully even someone who is borrowing on the streets if you are a state officer. You are supposed to treat them with kindness. Mr. Speaker, this is our own minority leader, a representative of the people of Akede Ward, who I believe should be more than in the area of 30,000 people, Mr. Speaker. She bullied a representative of 30,000 people, Mr. Speaker. This is equivalent to bullying 30,000 people, Mr. Speaker, who the minority leader represents in this House, Mr. Speaker. For purposes of Section 1, bullying includes repeated offensive behavior, which is vindictive, cruel, malicious, or humiliating, and is intended to undermine the person. I think this one, Mr. Speaker, nails the governor as a breaker of the law. And anyone trying to argue otherwise, Mr. Speaker, should visit the Leadership and Integrity Act, Mr. Speaker, and interpret it otherwise. On the area of vilification of other leaders, Mr. Speaker, I will not, there are further evidence that has been attached to the motion, Mr. Speaker, that is also in the public domain. I would like the answered, Mr. Speaker, to play for us Annex 13 on the flash drive on the kind of incitement that the governor did on or around the 12th of September 2022. It's a very short video, Annex 13.